All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for your patience as we prepare for this. This is going to be a little interesting on my part because I'll be moderating these four very diverse, very experienced, and very interesting perspectives on a very hot-button issue of, as of late, immigration, and its many implications and many different perspectives, and many different topic issues. We have here in the studio my former co-host, my former colleague, and you know him well as Dan of the VoiceBox. Dan?
How's it going? This should be an interesting forum, and I hope to learn a lot as well as share a lot of information.
We also have here in the studio former Reagan advisor and a scholar, I would say, of many issues here on this campus, Mr. Cobb Sr.
Thank you, Donald. Thanks for the invitation.
You're welcome. And then we also have the student, Maritza Perez, the ASUN legal advisor here on campus, who's who's of Latino descent, I believe.
Hi. Yeah, I'm here as an individual, though I'm definitely not representing ASUN tonight. But thank you for having me.
You're welcome, and thank you for bringing that perspective. And kind of our headliner for the evening tonight, we have Mr. Jim Gilchrist, the founder of the Minuteman Project. How are you doing this evening, sir?
Very good. I didn't get the young lady's name, the last person that you introduced.
Maritza.
Maritza?
Maritza.
Maritza,
Yeah.
okay.
I think of it as, we're going to be Maritza, I'm going to butcher it.
She's from the Associated Students?
Oh, no, she's actually, as herself as a student. She's a Latino student here on this panel tonight. So she's kind of giving I call it the human perspective on the issues of the day.
Sure.
All right, well, this is what I'm going to do here, and because, again, I'm going to admit my ignorance in this. I am not an expert on this topic in any way, shape, or form. I myself am as curious on this issue and as kind of lost in this issue as many of you who are listening tonight. Why is this such a hot-button issue? Why, what makes it so tough to deal with? What makes it so tough to answer this question? What are the angles? What are the issues that make it what it is? Well, that's why all these people are here to put some perspective on this. And what I'm going to kind of do, besides you know who they are, is give a little introduction of who they are. So I'm going to start with Mr. Gilchrist. Who are you? And you've got essentially 3 minutes to do that.
Thank you, Don. I'm Jim Gilchrist. I'm the founder and the president of an organization called the Minuteman Project, and I'm going to define exactly what that project is and what its goal is. We are a multi-ethnic, and I say that again, a multi-ethnic immigration law enforcement advocacy group. Our goal is to bring continued awareness to what we perceive as dilemmas affecting the domestic tranquility of the United States and its population. It happened to be immigration that I chose first. I considered going to neighborhood crime, gang warfare that's rampant throughout the country, so on and so forth, and eventually settled on the immigration issue, and that was directly a result of the 9/11 carnage. I just could not get that off my mind, and knew that to bring national awareness to this issue, I had to include the media. And how did I do that? Being a former newspaper reporter, I knew that if I could create an event, a situation where that became very newsworthy, I would draw the press in, and it worked beyond my wildest dreams as far as bringing the attention of the media to this issue. And I launched what I refer to as the largest assembly of Minutemen and women since the Revolutionary War. We had 1,250 volunteers join me down in southeast Arizona, which is about 400 miles from where I live, to stand watch there and aid and support the Border Patrol. I think that's enough for me, and I'll let you go to your next guest.
Okay. And let's see, in that case, Mr. Cobb. Who are you, and what brings you to the forum tonight?
Well, thanks, Donald. I think, like Mr. Gilchrist, we're the old guard. I think we both served in Vietnam about the same time years ago. And I, too, approached this from several angles, most importantly the national security portion of it, as given my background. I also am a great advocate of immigration. This country has benefited tremendously from immigration over the centuries. I would advocate that we need more, not less immigration, but it's got to be the right kind. I think maybe my views are summarized by an op-ed in the New York Times a couple years ago by David Brooks. He said, millions of people are longing to get into this country, yet this country has not set up an admission system that encourages hard work, responsibility, or competition. Instead, under our current immigration system, the way it's working, most people get into the U.S. through criminality, nepotism, or luck. The current system does almost nothing to encourage good behavior or maximize the nation's supply of human capital. I would also add that it's a very racist policy that we have right now, that we exclude so many people from parts of the world such as Asia because of the family preference system right now, that a person comes into the country, perhaps has babies, and their extended families are given preference. I'm advocating, as the immigration bill that President Bush was pushing last year, that we try to give preference instead to the individuals who speak English, who have scientific skills, medical skills. When I was in India, those people were lined up for 7 years waiting to get in on a legal basis, and I think we need to accelerate that process. A lot of them come in on the H-1B visas for technical people, but those visas are used up in the first 7 hours of a day, and I think that fundamentally we need to make that change.
All right. And then I throw it to Maritza Perez. Who are you, and what brings you to this forum tonight?
I'm a student at this university. I'm a senior, graduating in May. I'm studying journalism and Spanish with minors in political science and economic policy. I have been affected by immigration firsthand. It's really an issue that touches us all, but I was actually born in Mexico. My family immigrated here from there, and I saw firsthand my mother's struggle to earn citizenship for both herself and for me. And I'm here tonight to speak on really from a student's perspective, a Latina student here in Nevada.
All right. And then finally, my former colleague and activist, Dan Lucas.
I primarily come at this from a governmental point of view. I've been looking at the policies coming through, stemming from slavery on up through indentured servitude, coming into more of the modern decades, dealing in, like, especially the 1920s. We had two very big cases with Ozawa and Thind, and I believe that we've moved a long way since then, but we still have a long way to go. I believe that Mr. Cobb hit it right on the head, saying that we do encourage a lot of illegal activity in order to come across the border. With 7-year waits, it does not allow anyone to come into this country, regardless of their skills. And I feel this is just a travesty. So moving on from there, let's throw it back to you, Don.
All right. You heard their positions. You heard their, what they believe. And what I'm going to kind of do in this part is, in this part of the forum here, is to kind of narrow it down a little bit and asking every one of these people individually, what is the big issue? I mean, what is the issue that on this topic that gets them, not just the most heated, but what should we be focusing on? And I'm going to kind of do a reverse thing. And Maritza, you're up next. You're up first. The question is, what is the issue? On immigration reform that gets you. What is it you'd like us to focus? What's the single issue you'd like us to focus on in this discussion tonight?
I don't know if there's a single issue, but I could definitely focus it around a couple of themes, and that would be the human aspect of immigration, but also the economic aspect. With the human aspect, I mean that there is a loss of life when people do cross over the border, and I don't think it's fair. But also there are real economic costs to this. I think by having people who are undocumented working, it also doesn't help people who are here legally and who want to work. And also, families are torn apart by immigration, and with the current system we have now, I don't think that problem is being healed at all. So, like I said, again, it's just the economics and the human aspect behind it. And obviously, right now, the system we have isn't working, but I think that there could be some solution so that can be reconciled somewhat.
Mm-hmm.